Hello, everybody. It is a great pleasure for me to be here speaking about one of the greatest passive house projects in Italy so far. This is an office building which required a big expertise in order to bring it up to the passive house level. As you will see in the following, big challenges had to be overcome, but our aim of realizing a cost-effective passive house building was in fact finally met. The project is located in the Marche region in a location pretty close to the Adriatic coast, as you see here in these pictures. The orange spot shows where the building had to be realized. It consists of a cardboard box factory, that's the reason for the name Megabox, and an adjacent office building, which is the one to be designed with the passive house standard, which you can see here in this picture below. As you may see here, the office building is indeed a very challenging project, since it only faces north, as you see here, and for sure it was not an easy task to optimize it in order to finally hit the passive house standard. Only a very limited amount of solar gains can be provided to the building, and several balconies on the northern facade, as you see here, made the task even more challenging, not only by shading the already limited diffuse radiation, but also introducing some major thermal bridges to be solved in a smart and cheap way. Yes, I speak about cheap because for this project and in our consultancy in general, the economic viability is always the driver of all the choices, provided, of course, there are no comfort or hygienic issues. These pictures give a better and close look to the final project. The passive house office building is completely shaded on the other cardinal points by the neighboring factory. Here you can see the floor plans, the first and the ground floor. After looking to the project more closely, we could make it a little bit more compact, even though it still shows a quite unfavorable form factor. It consists of several office rooms, a couple of meeting rooms on the right wing of the building, some storage room, and a lift. As far as the building assemblies are concerned, we can see that the U values are quite low and unusual for this warm temperate climate, but the extra costs needed to install a thicker thermal insulation paid completely back and somehow compensating the missing solar gains. The load-bearing structure is cross-laminated timber, CLT, and the wide use of airtight membranes was made in order to achieve very low values of N50, touching even 0.22. This is the detail for the joint between external wall and floor slab. This is done in concrete. This is the CLT external wall. No basement is present, and this is the airtight layer. This again is a similar detail, but with window installation. Due to the fact that the load-bearing structure is made of wood, it was simpler somehow to fit the window behind and not in the thermal insulation layer. The thermal bridge still remains quite small and made the installation, on the other hand, in the execution part very simple. This is another detail related to the joint between external wall and attic. As you can see, the thermal bridge of the parapet is made almost negligible. As far as the mechanical services are concerned, all supply and exhaust air ducts are placed within the plasterboard ceiling so that air is supplied and extracted just below the ceiling. This allows a good circulation of air regardless of the position of the interior furnishings. Megabox office building includes 2 meeting rooms with a completely different pattern of use if compared to the other office rooms of the building. To reduce investment costs and keep maintenance costs very low, a centralized unit with variable air volume was chosen in order to guarantee the suitable airflow rate when needed in each room, which, for instance, increases the airflow in the meeting rooms whenever people meet to speak about projects and so on. The needed airflow is around 500 cubic meters per hour. Heating and cooling will be provided by an air-to-air heat pump, so there is only one device with a very simple distribution duct system. Both heat pump and server room are located somewhere here in the neighboring factory, so it means outside the thermal envelope, in order to get rid of unuseful overheating in summer and enhanced thermal losses due to an increased airflow rate. In summer, a ducted split unit provides a cooling boost, here marked in blue, as you may see, through recirculation of air inside the building, thus keeping the mechanical services pretty simple. This is one solution which we commonly use here in Italy, especially along the coast. Let's come to the construction phase. Here you can see the execution works have been done properly. Here you see the airtight layer and the use of these special airtight collars. On the right-hand side, very high quality Passivhaus certified windows with a class of efficiency PHA, and the very well done installation made it possible to maximize the solar gains whenever possible when reducing the visible weight of the frame, while keeping the thermal losses through them quite low. Here you can see the window frame is completely covered by the external thermal insulation layer, which results in a very low installation thermal bridge. The average value for the UW installation is around 0.7. So pretty uncommon for the climate, but as said, it was needed due to the very high big challenges we had on the rest of the building. Here you can see the ventilation device and the necessary vapor-tight aluminum foils, and below the distribution of the ventilation duct system. On the roof, a 200 kilowatt peaks photovoltaic system with a 1,500 square meter area is present, which is partially shared with the office building while serving the factory. The domestic hot water pipes are provided of 6 centimeters thickness insulation, even though the domestic hot water demand in an office is usually very low, as in this case. For this reason, on-demand, cheap domestic hot water electric boilers completely fulfill the needs of the building as far as the domestic hot water is concerned. This is how the office building looks like in the final phase after a ventilated facade has been installed on the outer surface of the building. Finally, the certificate was issued around 1 year ago, and here you can see the amazing figures we could be able to get. Amazing! if one thinks of the dramatic challenges we had to face. The certificate itself was issued during a special ceremony where the mayor was also present, which you can see here, and could appreciate the quality and the significance of this building for the whole region. But how did we get to this amazing result? Starting from the initial sketch, PHPP showed a not surprising 37 kilowatt hours per square meter year for the heating demand. After working a little bit on the windows by reducing them in number and size, we could get further down. The final step to reach the Passivhaus standard were making the thermal envelope even more compact when moving one volume from the first floor to the ground floor and using triple panes low E glazing units with a very energy efficient window frame in the Passivhaus class of efficiency PHA. This allowed us to even remove, as you can see here, the roof window, the extra cost for the better windows being more than recovered by removing completely the roof windows. As you see, we used again the principle of the cost effectiveness as a driver for our choices. PHI already partially implemented the economic viability in the PHPP9, but our company made some improvements on the calculation, which follows the norm EN 15459. In this slide, I want to show you the comparison between three variants if related to the minimum energy standard, which is the 0 here. The one is the market standard, which is usually done here in Italy. The second is the Italian NZEB definition, which means the nearly zero energy building according to European directive. And the third one is the Passivhaus standard. You can see that if one chooses Passivhaus already in the first year, one will save the biggest amount of money. Again, as it's been said several times, if you do it well. And I would add, even upon the worst boundary conditions, if assisted by a very good company. I would like to conclude with the owner's vision, pleasant and comfortable for those who work there, because while working, everybody must live in a healthy environment. We want to be an example for other companies. May this building be a landmark for the whole community. Thank you for listening to me. This is how we can assist you in whatever project you might like to do, either in Italy or abroad. Please follow us on the social media, on our website. Don't think too much, but act in the most sustainable way. Thank you.